Hello YouTube! Thanks for tuning in to my little video here. I am right now on the way to go meet with a potential new client. So we're going to meet with them, see if we're a good fit, potentially provide them with some home care services. We actually have back-to-back meetings. So meeting with this client, and then half an hour later we've got another appointment with the second client. So that's all very exciting. What did I want to talk about today? I went to some networking events over the course of the week, and I'm starting to get more and more comfortable with that whole process. I've known that networking and getting people to know about you is absolutely critical to the success of our business. But for the first couple of years, I wasn't doing a great job. I would go, but I didn't really know how to manage it or maneuver and make those connections. And so I spent a lot of time avoiding it. Right? I avoided showing up. And they say 90% of success is just showing up, and that is very much true. But I think the reason that's important, it's not just showing up once or twice. It's showing up, failing, being frustrated, but continuing to show up. You can't just show up once. And that dynamic, like one of the first ways that was really demonstrated to me was doing stand-up comedy, right? So in the beginning you start stand-up, you're just not very good. Maybe get some laughs here. I think my very first performance went very, very well, considering it was my first time. Then my second performance was pretty bad. And you just have to kind of keep showing up despite the bad performances. Because over time, again, you learn, you get better, you develop the skills, and that is showing up more and more in networking. Especially because, for me personally, I have very introverted tendencies. So it was very easy for me to make those excuses. Like, oh, I'm an introvert, and they already know each other, and there's competition here. I had all these thoughts in my head for why it wasn't going to work, and I wasn't going to be able to figure it out, and blah, 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 and all that nonsense. But as long as you keep showing up and keep trying to improve, you have to show up with the intention of getting the result, at least eventually. Or more importantly, show up with the intention of developing the skill which will eventually lead to the result. That makes sense. Another thing, the other day, had a phone call with a business coach. So I signed up for his program. There's so many business influencers on social media with all their books and their videos and all this stuff. So I read this guy's books. His name is Matthew Pollard, where he talks about marketing and networking for introverts. That's his niche. And it's interesting is like you study marketing and then you start to realize when you're being marketed to, and you're like, okay, he's doing that. He's telling stories. He's doing this. He's doing all the same things he teaches you. Like, it's happening in real time. You're like, okay, I'll give you my credit card. It just works. It just works as a way of communicating with people. So I had a phone call with him, which, again, he's very good. He's very polished in what he does. So I signed up for his program and have not yet gotten started with that. But I will be, hopefully later today, once I finish with these meetings. I'll go and get started with the first module. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, the importance of finding mentors. So people on social media, business influencers, will always talk about the importance of being a student and learning learning from somebody who already has the answers. And one thing that has held me back quite a bit in my life is my ego, thinking that I'm supposed to already know the answers internally. You know, I'm supposed to just figure it out on my own. This very lone wolf mentality. But the more I study this, the more it's like, why don't you just learn from somebody else? They already made the mistakes. They already know what works. They already know what's effective. So right now, my goal is to, again, go through his program and be an excellent student. Like, really take it seriously and learn what he has to say and practice it and do all the steps. And I'm confident that in doing so, I'll be a better marketer. I'll be more effective. So those are my thoughts right now. What else I want to think about? I don't know. I guess we're going to cut another little update. I guess I ran this morning. My weight is down to 222. So I feel good about that. I'm really feeling good about the habit tracker, which I talked about yesterday. Again, it has turned the process of goal complete. Everyone talks about in order to hit your goals, it's about being process oriented, right? And so you have to have a process for managing the process, or managing yourself in completion of that process. And you can't just be like, just do the process, just do it. That's sort of where I was coming from. But having that app, which has sort of turned the process into a game to track it, and just make sure it gets done every day, has externalized. It's taken it out of my brain as this thing that's sort of like up here. It's like, yeah, I should probably do that. But having it, again, being tracked outside of my mind, so that, I am going to get distracted. Other things are going to happen. But always having that to come back to and just, oh, right, I forgot to sit down and do some writing today. Just helpful to have that reminder. So, I don't know. That's it for now. Those are my thoughts. I don't have anything else particularly interesting to say. So, I'm just going to leave you with that. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.